Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, all around the world, Bravehearts. I'm Dr. Daryl Wolf. This is the Doc of Detox, okay? And guess what? I'm on here today with Lorraine, and today we're going to be talking about pelvic poisoning and the domino effect of that. I'm going to tell you something right now. I'll bring her on in just a second, but you need to know this, okay? Whether you want to believe this or not, but I will tell you, a woman's problems, 95 to 98% of all her problems start in the Holy Grail, which is her pelvis, which is the vaginal canal area. And understand, we're going to go through them today. How about this? We're going to talk about today all the different problems that women have. Lorraine's going to talk about it from the medical point of view, and then I'm going to bounce with her, and we're going to talk about what's really going on and how even your gynecologist, okay, even your GP, even your surgeon, okay, have all been ruled, schooled, and fooled. And that's it. These guys won't look at inflammation. They won't look at calcification. They won't look at scar tissue formation. They won't look at a fibroid. They won't look at a tumor until they have to cut it out, or they have to burn it out, or they have to drug it down to numb you out so that you will not know that there's a raging fire still going on in your body, but there will be. What do you think, Lorraine?
You bet, you bet. We've been ruled, schooled, and fooled to believe that we don't have control or even have the ability to understand what's going on down in the pelvic area. So we've been told that the only one who can help us is the doctor. And yes, they have a good, they have a role to play, but we should be able to take personal action ourselves and be our own practitioner. And then we wouldn't have to be running to the doctor every time we get a symptom.
Well, the reality is too, I hope you know this, not 1%, not even 1% of healthcare is emergency care. Okay? If you lived in a world where people didn't always get treated, but they got trained to learn what we teach in the Whole Life Coach certification, in the Wolf Non-Surgical certification, in the pelvic restoration for women 3-day masterclass, in these 3 courses alone, you wouldn't be in this position. I'm telling you that right now. I would like any type of doctor to want to challenge me, come on a show and prove to me beyond a shadow of a doubt that our trainings don't give what people need, because it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're young or whether you're older. There's no reason for you limping on an emotional, physical, okay, nutritional level. There's just no reason. There's no reason for it. Understand that there's only chronic health care because you go and get ineffective treatment and care. And understand something, any practitioner worth their salt is going to teach you what they know so you can do it. If you actually think that you got to learn Greek, because that's what most people believe, you got to learn Greek, okay, because that's what it is. I mean, listen, you know what, when you come to buy my products, it's black diamond, humic, fulvic. When you go to buy their products, it's some name that they got from the planet Venus, and hardly anybody can pronounce it, and it absolutely means nothing, because it's just a drug, it's just a chemical. Its basis came from petroleum, and we know it's a poison, and the reality is this, what name would they give it? They can't give it an honest name because it's a poison. The reality is this, the human body's just bloody well amazing. Everybody out there, you are able to cure yourself from whatever you have. If you believe that, you got something because your mother passed it down or it was passed down every other generation, you made that BS up. That's a dysfunctional belief system. There are no genetic inherited illnesses. Really, do your research, find it, and then come to us, and then let's talk about it then. Don't just tell me what you heard. Let me see you become your own detective and do real research and find out who paid for the actual study that you're reading from. Why don't you do that? Or let me ask you a question. How many practitioners do you go to offer a money-back guarantee on their consults, their treatments, their courses, their certifications, their master classes? And how many people have 20 master classes for free in a library? So the reality is this. What is my intention? What's Lorraine's intention? To teach you how to become your own practitioner, to teach you about how beautiful your body is, and that, guess what? Everybody got a toxic, broken manual, because guess what? We are being fed off of by corporations. End of story. Tell me corporations haven't been running healthcare, okay, for 25 years, even 35 years. And I'll tell you, you don't know what you're talking about, and if you believe that they're not. They're running healthcare. You know what? You're in pain, you're suffering, because you don't know how to love, honor, and respect your body, and it's not your fault. And then you take drugs to numb it out, because what else are you going to do? Nobody gave you a strategy. Nobody told you how to do it. And then guess what? You create calcification, crystallization, scar tissue formation, and now you don't know what to do with it because you didn't even know how you caught it. So then guess what you're going to do? Now you're going to tell them to cut that out. Cut the organ out, cut my hip out, take that watermelon fibroid out of my belly, out of my vaginal canal. Seriously? Okay, you're bone on bone? No, you're not. You've got displaced calcium. Hey, no, there's no cartilage left. That's not true. Lorraine, have you seen anybody come to us that was supposed to go to surgery, that went to surgery for anything like a hip problem, knee problem, spinal problem? Have you?
No.
No. And Lorraine is not going to lie to you guys, okay? All right? I'm not going to lie to you either, but why would you want to believe me, right? I'm just the doctor that's making promises, but guess what? We will follow through on all of these. And do you know why it's not hard? Because you're so amazing. You're the cure you've been looking for. What do you think, Lorraine?
Yeah, we all tend to look outside of ourselves for the answers, and the answer is right here. Always has been, always will be. This body is the silver bullet. All we've got to do is honor it and give it what it needs, and it makes miracles happen, because that's what it's supposed to do. So at any stage of any disease, if the mindset is right and you're providing the body with what it needs, it's going to start making those changes.
And just know this, you are an energy force. That's what you are. You're an electrical energy, magnetic light being. That's what you are. And understand something. You know what? We're not going to talk about it today, but I want everybody to get this. If you're not willing to change your thoughts, you will rot. And whether you believe it or not, everybody that has a disease is rotting out in that part of their body. What do you think of that, everybody? What do you think of that? Everybody that has a disease, whatever part of the body that is, it's rotting out. Why don't you go tell your doctor that? Dr. Wolf told me that I was rotting out in that part of my body. And he's going to go, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, guess what? Guess what you've got? You've got tissue disintegration because of inflammation, because of infection. Why don't you tell him that? And then guess what? He'll be just, I don't know what to say. And because it's that simple. 1 and 1 are not 11, they're 2. Lorraine, shall we get started?
Sure. Okay. So the first one here, I've got them in alphabetical order. I've got about 8 up on the hopper here to go through.
8 in the hopper. Yeah. Okay.
8 in the hopper to go through, yeah.
Okay.
The first one is Asherman syndrome. Now, this is a rare condition that causes scar tissue or adhesions in the uterus. And what else did they say? It makes it so that there's less room in the uterus, because obviously this scar tissue is taking up more room.
Whatever you feed, remember something, everybody, whatever you feed on an emotional or physical level gets bigger. Bigger. Right.
Okay. And so it can get bigger and thicker, and then the walls can actually stick together, and then you could have pelvic pain, you could have abnormal bleeding, you could have infertility, and stuff like that because of it.
Okay. So what was it called again? Let's say the name.
Asherman's.
And guess why? Why is it called Asherman's? because this disease leaves a lot of ash behind. No. Oh, wait, because this disease has a lot of ash coming out of your behind. No, wait a minute. No, because the guy who actually invented it and actually wrote a paper on it, his name was what?
Asherman.
Oh my God, Dr. Asherman, where are you when we need you? And the whole thing is just BS, okay? Because all that happened was this beautiful woman that's got this adhesion. And understand, if it's in your brain, it's called a lesion. And if it's in your core, which is your abdominal and pelvic area, it's called a what? An adhesion. Okay, and what do adhesions do? Well, they stick to things, okay, and they choke things off. And understand, scar tissue is where your body makes fibrin and sends it to the area to wall off the inflammation so it doesn't spread. And scar tissue is just tissue that has no electrical conductivity. It has no circulation in it. So no circulation, now you've got a physical block. That physical block is going to stop the blood flow, the lymph flow, and with stagnation, you're going to get blood clotting, right? You're going to get heavy bleeding because it's going to be backed up behind it. And then guess what? The body goes, we got to blow. So that's when you get the cramps, you get the pressure, and all of a sudden you get the gusher, and you get these big blood clots, and they're stringy. Well, come on. You know what? Anything that you're going to just leave there, okay, and it's going to stagnate is going to coagulate. Whether you get a blood clot in your brain, which is a circulation problem, or you get blood clots coming out of the vaginal canal, it's just what it is pooping in the pelvis, girl, and then you get infection creating stagnation, and it just stagnates in there. So let me ask you, what came first, okay? The mosquito or the swamp? Well, the swamp came first, and then the scar tissue, or the bad bacteria, or the fungus, or the worm, okay? Or the adhesion, because you've got to have the infection, because then you're going to create inflammation, because your body's GPS is pain and inflammation, telling you that, guess what? You are going to move into what? Mutation. If you don't watch it, from inflammation. So it's going to cause some pain and tell you to get off your butt and figure it out. Remember, everything's got to do with circulation. So this is not a disease, because there are no diseases. There are just symptoms, and symptoms are people that have gotten ineffective therapy, ineffective treatment, ineffective medicine. I mean, they actually call pharmaceutical medicine. That's medicine? Really? You want to call it medicine? You want to believe that? I got to go take my medicine? Seriously, how numbed down do you have to believe that that's actually medicine? Now, I'm not telling you that I never took a headache pill. You know, when I didn't know what was causing my headaches, I had to take a headache pill. Now, did I get the headaches because I didn't have enough pills? Or did I get the headache because I didn't know how to master my emotions properly, or my diet, or my choices? And I didn't realize that the thoughts were rots. Okay, the thoughts were rots because most of those thoughts I had when I was younger, they weren't programmed by me, but they're programmed by me now. So understand something. What was his name again?
Asherman.
See, I don't really care. Asherman's, Assman, call it whatever you want. They're going to make up names, the craziest names for drugs, the craziest names. How about this? People will call me up every week. Dr. Wolf, okay, I got fallopian tube marsitis. Oh, really? Wow, okay. Yes, and I'm 1 out of 1,000,000. Oh, that's good. Well, that's good. At least you're standing out now. You've always wanted to stand out. Now you can stand out. You see how I'm being sarcastic? I don't mean to be that. I'm trying to teach you something. There are people that feel so lost in this world that now this special disease, only 1 out of 1,000,000 people have it. Now they're special. You're already special. If you learned how to love and care for yourself and forgive yourself totally and just bless yourself every day, you are already special. My God, do you need a disease to be special? Okay, do you need a disease for people to pay attention to you? Because guess what? You're not funny, you're not pretty, you're not smart. Who would like you anyway? Just because we've been told this crap doesn't mean we need to buy into it, okay, and become lesser. Because that's the only way we have a slave planet. So know this. I'm coming back, Lorraine. My apologies. I haven't been on for a while. So yeah, blah, 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 you know. But the reality is I know that planet Earth will always be a slave planet. But I will never be a slave on this planet. And I'm trying to set the slaves free. I was a slave. I'm no better than anybody else. I'm not some kind of genius. I'm not smart. It's just logic. Okay? And the reality is they're after the low-hanging fruit. The people that have low vibrational thoughts and programs in their life, they can just come in and pick them and walk away with you. They can scare you enough to get you to do anything. You know what? If you think that the 3 years of COVID was something, that was the hors d'oeuvre. Just remember, I'm Dr. Darrell Wolf, and I told you in 6 months that if you can't keep a smile on your face, connect it to your breath and stay calm, and then think about how you can create the most beautiful environment to live in, to laugh in, to dance with. I mean, that's what I'm after. I've been trying to make things work the way we've been doing business for the last 30 years. Well, actually, 40 years I've been doing it this way. And I got to change everything. And in months, I'm going to make changes that will just blow people away because I got to prepare. Even though I would like things to stay the same and I'd like my business to run the same, it's not going to. So you need to understand that. You need to look at your life as a fun-filled, life-threatening adventure where you are going to cut the invisible bonds that bind you and make you like everybody else that's around you. And I mean everyone. Only 1 out of 10,000 people are truly enlightened on this planet. Only 1 out of 1,000 people actually eat properly or even try to. I said 999 people out of 1,000 don't eat right. And I'm telling you right now, there is no need for disease or negative symptoms or pain and suffering and surgery. Listen, 2% of surgery is actually needs to happen. 2%. 90%, 98% of surgery is not needed. And I can prove it. And I would like someone to come on and challenge me. Come on, any surgeon wants to come on, and I mean it in a loving way. I would love to prove to everyone that we have been ruled, schooled, and fooled over the last 125 years. And that's the God's truth. Lorraine?
Yeah, exactly. I agree with everything that
No, but, you know, I don't mean to hog the time, Lorraine. I'm just, you know what? I just see what's going on, and I see what's coming for us in the next 6 months, and I need everyone to understand this is going to be these psycho tyrants' major push. They know this time they've got to make it happen. They served the hors d'oeuvre, and now they're coming to bring the meal. And I need everyone to love, honor, and respect themselves and hold a smile and mind your own business and know there's no authority over you, okay? And understand, I'm going to tell you right now, if you would just trust me, and you don't have to, but you know what? We're giving away my perfect day guide. Never done that before in my life. It's if you go to PDG, that stands for Perfect Day Guide, PDG, okay, free.com. If you go there, you're going to get my perfect day guide. And I want someone to call up and say, I'll come on a show with you after I read it. And I'll tell people that, you know, it's not the best manual I've ever, it is. It's the most powerful you'll ever read in taking action from your nose to your toes. And when you go through, if you were to go through this 535-page manual that is a graphic masterpiece, it's beautiful, and you were to read it, and you were to study it with all your heart, Lorraine, is there, how many practitioners out there will know what these people know? Honestly.
Few, very few. Only the ones who've taken your courses, actually, because nobody else is connecting all the dots the way you've got it.
And they're not. And I'm telling you, this is not ego. This is me thanking God and blessing myself for what I've been given. And that's why I have to live it and give it. And now you know what you need to do? You need to pivot and give it. You better understand the world's changing. Oh, I don't want it to change. Guess what? You can't be like that right now. But you've got to think about you and your environment where you live. You've got to make sure that you get what you need, okay? You've got to come first, okay? Lorraine, want to go on to the next one?
The next one, sure. Okay, so the next one
At the rate that I'm talking, we're here till midnight. Okay.
Okay. The next one was bladder infection, and I just X'd it out, but that's an easy one. So bladder infection.
Just know this. Bladder, no, you go ahead, Lorraine. You go first. Ladies first.
Okay, so bladder infection. They would say that it's caused by, well, bacteria.
But it is. It is caused by bacteria. They're right.
Exactly. That part they got right. It's caused by bacteria. But they want to give you drugs in order to get rid of that bacteria. And that would be an antibiotic, right? And antibiotics are, well, we know that they destroy more than just the bad bacteria. They destroy the good bacteria also. So we're kind of in a constant circle, because it's going to hit you in the butt when you're off the antibiotics, and it's going to be hitting you harder because there's no protection now.
Absolutely. Now, here, I'll say what she said just a little differently. How's that? She said, he said. So here's the deal. So the reality is how many people know, okay, that it's E. coli? How many people know that the bacteria is usually E. coli? If it's not E. coli, it's another bacteria that comes from the large intestine. You've been pooping in your pelvis again. You've been pooping in your pelvis again. And the reality is this: there would be no infection in actually in your bladder. Cystitis, that just means inflammation in the bladder. And understand something. Inflammation, it's actually infection that creates the inflammation, and now you can't deal with the pain. Because if you didn't have any pain, you would just let the infection there, but then what happened is your bladder would rot out. But now with the inflammation, what happens is do you know why? Does anybody know why? Do you want to know why? Are you ready for this? That 49% of the women are dripping in their panties throughout the day urine. That's a real stat. Go look it up. Because the valve for the bladder was inflamed so much. First you got scar tissue and the inflammation kept going. So now, scar tissue is like beef jerky. It's not like elastic. So the valve can open, close with flexibility. Do you ever eat a piece of beef jerky? Well, that's what your valve is like. Okay, now, if it keeps going, guess what? Calcium goes to any part of the body. And guess what? From the pubic bone, from the hip bones, and from the pelvic girdle, you're stealing calcium, okay? You're stealing calcium from those bones. It goes into the bladder to try to buffer down and alkaline it so you don't end up with bladder cancer, right? Kidney cancer. And then guess what happens? The valve is so inflamed that it says, okay, we got a deal here. We're going to either if it was a valve on the kitchen sink, it would rust, and now you've got rust. Are you with me? Rust. If it was steel. But now because it's tissue, you got calcification, because the calcification is to bring down the inflammation so you don't have the mutation. But now with the calcification, your bladder valve won't close anymore. So guess what? Usually in one cell sonic treatment and a non-surgical and a cell sonic treatment together, that's fixed, because it'll go in and it'll actually fracture the little bit of calcium that's actually in the valve, and now the valve can open and shut. Oh man. And you know what, you guys out there, you can't pee anymore? That's because guess what? The valve has calcified. Not just like with women, it's calcified. So now guess what? Now you got to have the tube put up your penis, which is causing more scar tissue because of the inflammation, and you're irritated. Well, every time you got to put a catheter in there in your penis, what do you think you're doing? You're scratching it and you're inflaming it. So now you're going to get beef jerky in the tube, and every time you do it, you're inflaming it and you're making it more calcified. Once you start catheterizing yourself, baby, every time you do it, the further you are from just standing there and having a regular pee, whether you're a woman or you're a man. So you need to understand that, okay? So now, here's the deal. I'm pooping in my pelvis. I'm getting infected in my pelvis. Okay, we know we've already got liver problems, because anybody that has bladder problems all the time has chronic fatigue. Oh yeah, they do. They even have a tendency to get a fatty liver because of the inflammation, because of the infection. But here's the deal. then now the kidneys and the bladder get in the same problem. Now think about it. If you got somebody pooping in their pelvis, the infection has now got to go through the kidneys into the bladder. But what about the kidneys? Do you think they're not getting beat up at all? Really? Do you know that there's more people with kidney problems today and going on dialysis or on the edge of going on dialysis because they're dehydrated, they don't drink structured water, they don't drink enough water. But are you ready for this? Where do the adrenals sit, everybody? Sits on top of the kidneys like a hat. And guess what? Did you know that before COVID, okay, well, let's put it this way. 50 years ago, people were having a trauma moment 3 times a month. Before COVID, 17 times. Okay, does anybody know after COVID? Are you ready for this? 120 times a day. So people are sparking, fight, flight, fight, flight. And so now everybody's going to the doctor, and the doctor's going, there's something wrong with your kidneys. Okay, they're all fired up. But here's the problem. Yeah, the person that is fight, flight, they're dumping adrenaline all the time. And that adrenaline's so acidic, okay, it will cause big problems in the body, okay? It'll cause inflammation and scar tissue, but the reality is that now you're exhausted. I don't know why, but your adrenals are flat. You've got adrenal exhaustion, okay, and your kidneys aren't working right. Well, you never hear anybody talking about that. Anybody that's a stress monkey is going to have problems with their kidneys. Their kidneys are going to get beat up. It's like I've got this hot cap on top, frying it out, because I keep on pumping my adrenaline all the time. So understand this. So now I got bladder infection. Okay, well here's a genius. We know we should never take antibiotics unless you are in a life-threatening situation. Did you get that? Because what do antibiotics cause? Life-threatening situation. They do, so you better make sure every time you use them, it's like it's not going to be as powerful. It's like the guy has a toke. One toke. Oh, wow, man. Whoa, I'm ever stoned. I'm really stoned. Then guess what? He does it every day. So now he needs 2 tokes. And then he needs 3 tokes. And then he needs 4 tokes. And then he needs 5 tokes. And that's the way it's going to be. You're going to have stronger antibiotics. You're going to have to do them more often. What do you think of that? So now you've got no immune system left. Oh, wait a minute. How about the guy or the girl that decides, oh, I got to turn you back. I lost you.
Yeah, I'm sideways.
Yeah.
Somebody's sideways.
Okay. There you go. Okay, do you feel better? Were you dizzy?
Yeah, just a little.
Okay, so now what about the girl or the guy that decides to have a drink? 1 drink today, 1 drink tomorrow, 1 drink the next day. Guess what happens? You got to have more drinks, don't you, to get that buzz, right? And by the way, I'm going to do a show on this. There's no such thing as 1 drop of alcohol being good for you, just so you know that. I'm going to be talking about white matter, gray matter, and I'm going to be talking about what actually happens when you actually have alcohol. Okay, so when you're ready to just go, wow, this is when I can really pour on the alcohol and nobody will notice because everybody's drunk in the family, okay, during this season, just think about what you're doing to your brain, okay? All right, you're pickling your brain, but I'll be talking about that. So now, here we go. So you take the antibiotics once, but guess what? Who invented this? Seriously? So I'm going to take an antibiotic to get rid of my bladder infection. I'm going to take it in my mouth. It's going to go travel 30 feet, get into my large intestine, blow up my bacteria, the bad ones and the good ones. But somehow that's going to get into my bladder and destroy the bad bacteria that's in my bladder. And did you ever notice what happens when you get cystitis, girls, boys? Okay, is the longer you have it, that inflammation causes your bladder to shrink because of scar tissue. Now it's like, I don't know, I can hardly hold any pee. I'm up 5 times a night. And when I get up, I go, and about the 4th time I stub my toe, I'm so asleep because I can't get any sleep. And then when I get there, 3 drips come out. That's it, I can't get any more out. Well, guess what? You can reverse all of this. And depends how bad it is, but just by doing daily cleansing tea, black gold, okay, getting on a perfect day diet. Once you get a consult, guys, it's $150, and you got lifetime telephone support. And you get my PDF, The Perfect Day, free. And just so you know, people, I'm giving the Perfect Day free 1 minute to New Year's Eve. That's 1 minute to midnight. To everybody around the world. Never done it before. 535-page manual. Go to pdgfree.com, and if you love the book, I'll sell it to you for cost. That's $75 delivered to your door, and you're going to go, $75? Well, go read the book, and then just think if you could put this on your coffee table, and it's beautiful, beautifully designed, and guess what? It's 535 pages. It's this big. I don't want to run and get it. I forgot it. It's over here, but I don't want to leave right now. It's that big, and when you open it, you know, everybody loves pretty pictures. Don't you want to just not kind of sneakily get people to look at something that could change their whole life? And the perfect day, my perfect day guide will change your whole life. Whatever problem is in your body will actually show you the emotional problem that caused it. Okay? Because thoughts are everything. Thanks, honey. There it is. Okay? 535 pages of graphic art all the way through, okay? All right? You probably can't see it, and I'm just going to go. But everything from what age you are, to what your poo should look like, to what the diet should be, what you should be doing, and understand something. When you read my manual, how about this? You'll never do a parasite cleanse again. Anybody who does parasite cleanses, it's wrong. I'm writing an article that nobody's ever read before, because when you do a parasite cleanse with drugs, you're trying to kill the parasite, you're going to hurt yourself. And when you do a parasite cleanse with herbs that will make a toxic environment for the parasites, if you did not bring the integrity of the environment, meaning your tissue up, they're just going to come back. And I'm going to show you how just creating a perfect day, gentle baby loving steps, no big deal, but creating a perfect day, you never have to deal with symptoms, parasites, bad bacteria, or fungus again. Lorraine, am I right?
Totally, you bet. Want to get rid of it? Do the detox, the Doc of detox protocol, and you will be constantly on top of those parasites, because everybody has parasites. And even if you did a parasite cleanse, as soon as you start eating again, and you got rid of all of them, as soon as you start eating again, you're getting more, because they're there.
Yeah,
So
do you want to keep on doing
it every day?
Do you want to keep on cleansing, or do you just want to have a perfect day? Do you want to wait until you feel like crappy and then go and do a detox and feel like crappy and then go, oh, wow, I feel better now, but you're exhausted because you allowed yourself to create your own manure pile in your body and now you got to dump it? Why wouldn't you do a perfect day? Because a perfect day is going to give you back your power. And understand something. Even, don't get me wrong, but natural health practitioners don't want you to have a perfect day. Because guess why? Can I say something, and please don't beat me up? Everybody has poverty consciousness. We can't make enough money. There's never going to be enough money. There's never going to be enough sick people. I'm not trying to tell you they want people sick. I'm trying to tell you that guess what? There's enough of everything in this world. And if you were to take my whole life coach certification, the first one is January the 8th in Mexico, you would learn that your thoughts create everything. I'm going to do a one-a-day tomorrow. And you make sure you watch this one-a-day and share it. Because I'm going to pull back all the curtains that guess what? Why don't you take a look at your body tonight? Take all your clothes off, go in the mirror. Why don't you take a look at your house? Take a look at the environment. Take a look at the people that are in your life. All of that was created by your thoughts. There is what we call universal intelligence. And every thought that you have, it goes out there. And guess what? It gets beamed right back to whatever you think the most. Your thoughts create everything. So if you're not willing to change your thoughts, you'll never change your life. So just get comfortable and do drugs, okay, and buckle up, because you're going to have one hell of a bumpy ride. I'm telling you, if you ever took my whole life coach course, by the third day you would know what awake is. And you really would. I'll give you a money back guarantee by the third day. We've changed your life. And we're only at the third day. This is a 9-day course. Okay, so check it out at braveheartnation.com. And right after I finish, Dr. Sage Wolf will be teaching the Wolf Non-Surgical, which everybody who takes this course, doesn't matter chiropractors, doesn't matter massage therapists, medical doctors, nurses, we've had them all, eh, Lorraine?
We've had them all.
And what do they say, Lorraine, when they're done?
Everybody is blown away. Everybody is blown away. The way that they feel about themselves first taking that whole life coach, I mean, you crack that coconut and all of a sudden the light starts shining and it's like, OMG. I really can do this. I really can make those changes that I need to do. Or all I need to do is just let go of whatever that baggage was. And now I can go forward. And then taking the Wolf Non-Surgical, well, that's going to open up all the blocks that you have. You get your entire body worked on when you're taking that course. That alone, you're gonna walk out of there walking taller, walking easier. There's gonna be a brightness in your face, in your skin that you haven't seen for years.
Thank you, Lorraine. So here we are, cystitis. It's a big problem. Bladder infections are a big problem. Now I want everybody to just do me a favor. Go put your finger on top of where your bladder is. Guess where it is? It's sitting on top of the last 3 inches of your large intestine. And remember, how many of you get like this? Oh, I'll be there in a minute, honey. Just get this last turd out. It's stuck. It's stuck. Well, guess what? We get stuck here before we get stuck here. All right? And you better be willing to let go, because you better be willing to let go. And I'm not telling you to let go of the things you love. I'm trying to tell you something. You better start letting go. You better start letting go of the negative emotions. You better start letting go of the negative friends. You better start letting go of the negative habits. You better start letting go so you can grow. Okay? Lorraine?
Yes, and I'd have to say that is our biggest problem, is that we're holding on emotionally and physically, and we're not letting go. And when we can learn the strategies to help this thing, first of all, let go, the other part starts to let go too. And of course, you're doing the perfect day lifestyle, so that's helping. You've got the nutraceuticals in there, so that's helping. You're doing the exercises, so that's helping. You're getting the body work done. You know, everything is raising the vibration of the body, and the more you do this, the higher the body raises, so that those low vibrational things that have been attacking your body start to fall away, because it's not a home that they want to live in anymore.
Yes, and Joyce says, how do I tell when I get rid of parasites? Well, Joyce, here's the deal. The lower the vibration is in your body on an emotional and physical level, and the less electricity you have, otherwise energy, it's going to take longer. So understand something. You could do a parasite cleanse every week. If you are a depressed person, you will always have parasites. If you eat sushi, raw fish, you will always have parasites. Okay? If you have any disease like symptoms that are chronic, you've got parasites until you have no symptoms left. People don't like to hear this, but 99 out of 100 people have parasites, and there's not a really good test for parasites. Okay? Because parasites hide under the skin. Parasites are as old as cockroaches, and guess what? They're stealth. And guess what? They don't just live off sugar. They live off your nutrients. They live off your vital forces, and they throw up in you. They poop in you. They breed in you. And what people don't understand is most of the parasites that are actually created from nothing and become something were actually created in the human body. They weren't ingested. It's all in my chapter, The Parasite Party, Send Them Packing. It's all in that chapter. And don't expect to read in my book like you've read anything else before. And I mean all the way through. 90% of it is differently written, because guess what? Well, you're only going to get the same results if you are going to read the same thing you read everywhere else. And understand, everybody's done their best. But the reality is this: you need to become your own practitioner. You need to stop being a victim. You need to be a hero to your story. Lorraine?
Yeah, and with the parasites too, we need to have a certain amount of those parasites in the body at all times.
Because there's good ones. There's good ones. There's parasites that love you and save your life. There's good bacteria, bad bacteria, good worms, bad worms. Okay, do you get this? There's yeast, and then there's fungus. And then the yeast becomes fungus when you do antibiotics. And that's how you get systemic candidiasis, because the yeast becomes fungus and it drills holes right through your large intestine. And now you've got leaky gut, which it isn't leaky gut, it's leaky large intestine. And now you're pooping in your pelvis big time, because now you're just a screen door in a submarine. Lorraine?
Yeah, exactly. So you want to be cleaning that up, and the best way to do it is baby steps in the right direction. So focus on the 1% that you can do today, and focus on being a little bit better tomorrow. Just keep competing with yourself, and see if you can make those baby steps to correct and correct and correct and correct. You know, and the Perfect Day Manual is a beautiful thing that you can either download or purchase. It has changed so many people's lives, even before, when it was only 320 pages or whatever it was before. You know, because the information is in an order that you can understand it.
Can a 6-year-old read this manual and go, I got it?
Exactly. So if your 6-year-old granddaughter can do it, you can do it and understand it. And it's done in a good flow, so that you do get it. And sometimes we need to hear things several times. I think I read somewhere it was 12 or 13 times before we even get the idea that this might be something that's worth it. But you know what? Just do your best. Do your best. Do that 1% and keep doing it. That's how I got here.
What's next on the agenda?
Okay, the next one was dysmenorrhea, which is menstrual cramps. It's a big long name for something pretty simple.
But let's talk about why they call it dysmenorrhea. Because everything is a Greek word. Because guess what? You women, you know what? You wouldn't understand, period cramps. You girls, I don't know. You don't really know how to think very well. The reality is this. When somebody's going to talk to you with a foreign language, they've got something to hide. I need you to take that to the bank. Okay? All right? The greatest religion in the world is called the medical system, and the high priests are the medical male doctors. Yes or no? Now, am I putting them down? No. They're good for 1% of health. That's it. Emergency care. They're the third leading cause of death in North America. Thank you very much. And now you say, well, you are putting them down there. No, I'm giving you a stat. That's their stat. Okay.
Okay, it says that this happens because the uterus contracts and sheds its lining.
Well, what is it, like a snake? See? So now you know. The vaginal canal is like a snake, and every once in a while, okay, you're going to shed the lining. Okay, so that's pretty cool. But it's BS. Yeah. It's a dysfunctional belief system, because the only reason why that's happening is because infection goes to inflammation, goes to, you make lots more scar cells, and you create a lot more mucus in the lining, and that creates a thickness. And the thickness, how many people here know that anywhere in the body, if you've got inflammation or you terrorize yourself, the outer coating of every cell thickens. Why? Because there's a terrorist outside. So it'll thicken and contract. It'll contract down. Don't believe me, do your homework. Contract down, and then the cell wall will thicken. And that will keep and create more of a swamp, stagnation inside the cell. But it says, I'd rather be a swamp than allow a predator in and kill us. Do you understand? So now the walls thicken, and that means the nutrition doesn't come in, the vibration doesn't come in, the toxins don't leave, and when you don't have flow, you have stagnation. So now we've got a little swamp called your cells. And now what's going to happen is that when that thickens, the skin thickens, it will automatically try to shed, because if the skin gets thick and it stays there, then guess what? Cells will suffocate. The only person that received the Nobel Prize ever for cancer was Dr. Otto Warburg, stating that you will not get cancer unless you have a deficit of 35% or more of oxygen for more than 3 days. So we need to slough the skin and start all over again until we can get rid of the infection that created the inflammation, that caused the scar tissue formation, that caused the thickening. So no, you do not have a snake turned inside out. Okay.
Awesome. It says that the primary dysmenorrhea refers to the recurrent pain, and it has no identification causes, so they don't know why that happens, why it's painful. The secondary one.
Okay, guys, really, they don't know why it's painful. Understand, if they knew why it was painful, you'd know why it was painful, and you would say, I need daily cleansing tea, I need black gold, I need to drink structured water, hot water. If I'm a woman, at least 3 quarts a day, and I need to put Ormus minerals and black diamond into that, and bang, is it over? Lorraine, would it be over?
It'd be over.
It'd be over.
It would be over.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're starting to provide your body with what it needs to take care of what it needs to do. The next thing it says, it was the secondary dysmenorrhea refers to a condition like endometriosis. And that was my next thing I put up.
Do you want me to go, or would you like to go?
You can go. You tell me.
Okay.
Endometriosis.
Endometriosis is called, okay, this is where you girls get to be like Spider-Man. And you know how he has that webbing? And he can shoot it? Well, you're shooting it into your pelvis, okay? And you're shooting all of these spider webs into your pelvis. And that's what endometriosis is. And those spider webs are called fibrin, and those spider webs are trying to lock down, okay, the spreading of the inflammation. But here's the deal. Do you remember the last time that you had burgers on the barbecue and you forgot them a little bit longer than you should have? What happened to them? They got dehydrated and they got smaller, right? Did they get smaller? Okay, and then when you bit into them, were they really dry and tough? Well, that's what's going on with your whole pelvic girdle and your vaginal canal. Is that, guess what? You left your vaginal canal on the barbecue too long. Meaning the infection created the inflammation, and the longer and the stronger the inflammation is, the more dehydration you have and the more fibrin you have, which are tough little fibers that come in and try to contain the problem until the host wakes up, which the host never does wake up. The host usually goes from endometriosis to, guess what? Total pelvic clearance, goodbye ovaries, goodbye uterus, or what else? Or you start growing a fibroid and then you don't know what to do, but they tell you they'll keep an eye on it for you. And then when it's as big as a cantaloupe, then you come to us, and then guess what? It's our fault. No. Then what we got to do is Wolf non-surgical, we got to do cell-sonic, we got to do vaginal infusion, we got to get you doing advanced water fasting and on the perfect day diet, and we will win. Will we win, Lorraine?
Yes, we will win. I've seen it over and over again when I'm doing these consultations all over the world. You know, when people anchor on what we ask them to do, on all 4 pillars, so the diet, the nutraceuticals, the exercises, and the brave heart emotional work, that's when the magic happens. That's when the spark of life comes back to the body, and the body says, woohoo, we got this.
Yeah, that's the truth. I just got to reposition. My foot fell asleep. Oh.
Well, yeah, for endometriosis causes, the doctors don't actually know what causes endometriosis.
No, it's you know what? And I'm probably lying to you right now and just want to get money out of you. That's probably it. Why don't you go and watch Reverse the Irreversible which is in my library. Did you know we have more master classes than anybody else? And these master classes we used to sell for anywhere from $500 to $1,500. They're all free now. We can't be. We got to get them out. We got to get the word out. Reverse the irreversible. And if you don't believe me, why don't you go and also watch the emotional chemistry of cancer, disease, and healing, and then watch those two, and then come on and tell me I'm wrong. Okay? Because 1 and 1 are 2, not 11. And reverse the emotional chemistry of cancer, disease, and healing was the biggest study that was ever done on diseases of the body and cancer. Okay?
Okay, so when I scroll down a little bit, it says your genes could play a role in endometriosis. If your mom or your sister had endometriosis, you're more likely to get it. Research shows that it tends to get worse from one generation to the next.
Oh my God. Well, guess what? Guess what? This generation has eaten 100 times crappier than the last one, and the other one ate crappier than the last one. And guess what? I would love the doctor who did that research to come on my show and let's do a debate, okay? Because guess what? They don't know what they're talking about, okay? They don't know what they're talking about. They made that up. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. If I make something up, Lorraine, people that think I make things up, do they come after me like what? How fast?
Like fly on you know what.
Okay, and guess what? If you're in the medical system, you can lie, cry, justify. Okay, all right? And then there's me. I'm a snake oil salesman. Understand, I'm not pitying myself. I mean, I decided to do this. And if you're not going to talk like the majority and follow the herd, then you know what? The herd will attack you. So I get it. I'm okay with that. Okay, I've survived many attacks. Hey, Lorraine?
Yes.
Yeah, so...
You're still...
Yeah, so you know what? I love you anyway. So the reality is here, guys, is I already told you, they did a study which was called the, oh boy, it's been a long day. It was called the Genome Project. Go look it up. The Genome Project, they spent millions of dollars of taxpayers' money, our money, and all the Americans got to pay their money out for this. And you know what the medical system said? We got this. We're going to prove this time that guess what? Diseases are genetic. After they finished that Genome Project study, guess what? Anybody hear about it? Shh, shh, shh. Just guys, leave it alone, leave it alone. Because they found out that diseases aren't genetic. Okay? They're epigenetic. I already told you. Guess what? My mother died of cancer. I'm going to die of cancer. My mother died. My father died of leukemia. Passed away. Not died. He passed away from leukemia. But he had it 3 times. We got rid of it the first time in 6 weeks. I've got documents to prove it. So just so I'm not making this up. It took us 4 months the second time. The third time he never made it to me. Because my father never changed his thoughts. He just kept thinking the same. My mother, she passed on from lung and tongue cancer. And guess what? If you knew, when my mother would drink, her tongue was like a whip. And then when she wasn't drinking, she was the most beautiful woman in the world. And when she was, you know what they say when you go to the bar, right? Pick your spirit. Or how about this? The next morning, my mother goes, I don't know what happened. I wasn't myself last night. Please forgive me, Daryl. Okay? So understand that. All right? So the reality is here, guys, all I'm going to say this is cancer's not genetic. Okay? Both of my parents passed on before they were 55 years old. Okay? All right? I will be here when I'm 95. Okay? I know. You're thinking, well, that's going to be torturous. Do we really have to listen to him that long? Go ahead, Lauren.
I'm going to be here past my 90s, too. You bet. You bet. Okay, so the next one I've got up here is uterine fibroids. So fibroids are a common type of non-cancerous tumor that can grow in or on your uterus. Not all fibroids cause symptoms, but when they do, symptoms can include heavy menstrual period, back pain, frequent urination, pain during sex. Small fibroids often don't need treatment. Large fibroids can be treated with medication or surgery.
Okay, first of all, they can be treated with medication, but it doesn't stop their growth. It only numbs out the pain. Thank you very much. Okay? They can be treated with surgery, but how many people know that surgery causes more scar tissue in the human body than anything else? And how many people know? Why don't you go talk to everybody who got surgery, that got a fibroid cut out, or they got a tumor cut out, and ask them how long did it take before another one grew back? Because you can't have surgery without having trauma, and all this scar tissue there that blocks the circulation. Now you've got stagnation. When you have stagnation, then guess what? You have low oxygen levels, you have putrefaction, and now you can have cancer. That's right. And if you don't have cancer, you're going to definitely have pain. Does anybody know that you can't have any pain? You can't have any pressure. You can't have any swelling. You can't have any inflammation unless you've got a physical block in your body of scar tissue calcification or crystallization. Did you get that? And we can reverse all of that. You can reverse all of that, I should say. You can cure yourself. There are no cures, but you can cure yourself. Just think if you had the perfect day from the moment you rise till you closed your eyes. You knew how to love and care for yourself. You knew what to drink and eat, and you didn't get sucked in anymore because you loved yourself so much that you didn't go, okay, well, I'll smoke that cigarette, I'll drink that drink, I'll eat that donut, okay, I'll eat that garbage because guess what? I want to be closer to her. I want her to love me more because I can't live without love. Do you know how much you compromise yourself every day? Because we can't live without love. We're emotional beings, which makes us special. But it's not special if you don't want to unconditionally, totally love yourself and forgive yourself, because you are going to have one hell of a ride when you start using other people as a big nipple to suck on to fill up your heart. And that's the truth. You know, if I could put something in everybody's drinking water and it caused them to fall in love, okay, to fall in love with themselves unconditionally, we wouldn't have to go through what we're going to for the next 7 years. And I'm ready to go through it because I know that nobody's going to change. They're not. People, how many people actually change? You got to change your thoughts to change your life. And that would mean that you would actually have to totally unconditionally forgive yourself and other people. Good luck with that when hate seems to be the main vibration. You know what? I'll tell you something right now. I have seen more betrayal from people in the last 3 years, and that betrayal for those people who do not know what integrity is and unconditional love for themselves and others is going to get worse. And I'm not a henny penny. I love life. I love life. But understand something. You are only as emotionally healthy as when there's a crisis going on and you've got a slight smile on your face connected to your breath and you go, I got this. Universal intelligence is picking up on every thought, every joke, every action, every reaction, everything that you do, say, the way you act. Your life is exactly the way it is because of that. And I mean for the better or for the worse. You know, people aren't sick, they got sick thoughts. People aren't poor, they got poor thoughts. I'm telling you the truth. Because guess what? There was a time I had sick thoughts and I used to get sick. I don't get sick no more. There was a time that I had poverty mentality, which was the hardest thing to get rid of. And I don't have poverty anymore. And also, I don't have to buy things. I don't need to buy things to make me happy. I don't. Oh, but can I tell you something? You see this behind me? You see this? You know what this is made out of? This is made out of opal and marble. Isn't this amazing? This was made by a Spanish artist. Now, he only made one. This is 4.5 feet tall. This is 170 pounds. Do you want to know something? This lights up. That really isn't. I'm not the light, okay? This lights up. And I'm going to tell you something right now. This is, I've never seen anything so beautiful. You know, look at the work. Look at the artistry. Look at what he did to cut this. And I'm going to tell you something right now. So I'm going out. I'm walking downtown in Zihuatanejo. I just love it here. I love it here. I live here 8 months of the year and then four months back in the United States. But I just love it here. I'm walking down, and there's this. I'll show you. I'll take a video. There's this one alley. Not alley. It's not. It's a street. But there's no cars that go down, and it's all lit up. And we're walking down, and then I go and I look into this place. And oh my God, in the corner, this thing's hanging up. And I just went, Lori, do you look at how beautiful this is? I've seen lion pictures where people have, like artists, have drawn things or painted. They've never done like this. I mean, you can't see down here all the way down to the bottom here. But this goes way, and it goes right up there where you see there's another 4 or 5 inches above that. This is 4.5 feet tall. The actual opal on it is this thick. And I go to him, I go, okay. I go, Lori, I gotta have this. And she goes, oh my God, you know how much this is gonna cost us? And I go, what? Onyx. That's right, not opal, it's onyx. Thank you. Now that you've embarrassed me in front of all these people. It's onyx and it's marble. Yeah, thanks, honey. So anyways, yeah, that's me. Whatever. Gotta lie about it all. So the reality is this. I go. Oh, and I also walk in, and there she is, breastfeeding. And the other reality is, if you're in Canada, people would walk in and go, oh my God, she's disgusting. Or she would walk in and just get rid of her breast. But no, the baby's having a great time. And I go, so how much would you like for this? And so she goes boom, 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 boom. She hands it to me. $1,200. I'm like, oh God, man, it's just so magical. Life is just so magical. And I got to tell you guys something. You really got to go around and you've got to say, my life is magical. My life is beautiful. And you got to get up in the morning. Let me see here. I don't know what's going on with poor Lorraine. Oh yeah, here we go. My apologies, Lorraine. But you know what? People were saying they liked you more than me, so I wanted to block your face. Okay, so the reality is, where was I? Every morning. Magical. Yeah, every morning before you get up in the morning, please just do this for me and then call me. My phone number is 469-861-8884. I'd love to hear from you. Say, Daryl, don't give me the doctor crap. It's not crap. But don't give me that, because then you put me up here and you're down here. Just say hi, Daryl, and then right away we become friends. It's more friendlier. Now, if you don't want to do that, call me on the 800 number, extension 5, and you won't have to pay at all, or call me on WhatsApp on that other number. But the reality is, get up in the morning, before you open your eyes, get our belly button kit, right, Lorraine? And go in, yeah. And if you use our belly button kit, which is inexpensive, you can use it every morning and every night. I want you to keep your eyes closed. Just grab the belly button thing. And guess what? It releases more dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins than anything else. And remember something. You want to be releasing serotonin not with sugar or alcohol, because that's what they do. And I'm going to talk about that not tomorrow. My one-a-day tomorrow is going to be a very powerful one-a-day on universal intelligence. And then the next day I'm going to talk about why they serve you bread and ask you what you want to drink before you eat. Isn't that fun? I'm going to tell you why. Everything is a psychological trip, baby. So anyways, get up, do the belly button therapy, and for 10 to 15 minutes, put a timer on that the little bell goes ding. I hope you know that on the Braveheart Nation app, we're going to be able to set it 1 minute or as long as you want to have a little ding go, and I'm going to tell you why we're building that in. Anyways, let me get back to my story. So take 10 to 15 minutes morning and night. So before you go to sleep and as soon as you wake up, and don't open your eyes, just grab your belly button thing and then start doing your belly button therapy, and be thankful for everything that you have and everything that you want, and then finish it like this. But universal intelligence, guess what? If you want to bring me something better, you just go right ahead and do it. And that's what I do. Okay? Because I deserve everything, and because I'm not after materialistic things, okay? I just want to experience every moment with unconditional love, light, vibrancy. I want to be able to have the patience and the compassion that if somebody hates me or tries to take me down, okay, or they're just having a bad day, that I don't turn on them, that I love them anyway. So you do whatever you want, but, find out, and also forgive, okay? Forgive, okay? And also go in and try to see if you can love the 3 things you hate the most, okay? Because those 3 things you hate the most are actually killing you. They're killing you. Lorraine, what do you think?
It's a beautiful way to start your day for sure. And
Lorraine's coming out with a master class, everyone. And it's called the Lionheart Breath, okay? And that's going to be coming out in just probably about 2 months, right, Lorraine?
That's right.
Okay.
The Lionheart Breath, the breath of life.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
But
so now, guess what? Now that I've announced it for the first time, you better not embarrass me and you better get it done.
You bet. You bet. It's all ready. We just got to, you and I just have to go through it. It's done.
Bam. Okay. Okay. All right.
It's coming. It's coming. We're going to give you the best gift. One of the best gifts you can give yourself is to learn how to breathe properly. Because your breath is what's going to either take you out of your parasympathetic nervous system, your calm, rest, and repair, or put you back in. And it can be done quickly on either side. So you got to know how to go like this and get back to your breath and get back into that parasympathetic nervous system. Because the more often we can shift into the parasympathetic nervous system, the more often the body has the opportunity to heal. Because we do not heal when we're running from that paper tiger.
No, we do not. And listen, can I say something?
You bet.
Yeah, there's a kit for the belly button therapy. Yeah, you can buy the kit, everyone. Just go to store.docofdetox.com. Okay? And for those of you that are on here, just so you know, this is not a pitch, but I'm going to say it every show I come on because I want to let every one of the people around the world that watch our show know this. Our biggest sale of the year starts Boxing Day. It's called Think Outside the Box. And this is our biggest sale, not in product-wise, but discount. It's our biggest discount, okay? And I mean that. Mystify me. I'm trying to avoid chemotherapy. Now, I would like to tell you this, Mystify me. Please get a pen and paper, and I mean this. I want you to give me a call tomorrow, and let's talk. I am not going to try to talk you out of chemotherapy. I'm going to talk you into loving and caring for yourself. I am not going to talk you out of that. Because I can give you all the facts, and here's the facts. Why don't you ask your doctor? 2.3 people are still alive after 5 years of doing chemo. It is a concoction that was actually created from mustard gas from the Second World War. So now, you have to understand, I know people that have went and actually... Lori, will you turn the light on out here? I look like I'm getting really dark. Am I getting dark, Lorraine?
I can't see the whole of you.
Okay, all right.
All I can see is...
Okay.
It looks fine.
Yeah, well, whatever. You just want to look better. I don't trust you. So anyways, where was I? What was I talking about again? Where was I? Oh, yeah. So the reality is I don't want to talk you out of this and mystify me. I don't want you to wait. I want to send you my perfect day guide. So if you can text me, or if anybody wants to text me at 469-861-8884, that is my USA phone number. So if you're in the USA, you can call me direct. Okay? Listen, but you call me or text me, and I'll send you out the guide tomorrow. I won't wait until Christmas Eve. I want you to go in and read things, okay? I want you to go in and understand things, okay? All right? Where were we, Lorraine?
Yeah, well, we were talking about fibroids, but I'm thinking that we should
How much?
probably...
There's no cost. There's no cost. Everybody gets my Perfect Day Guide free. Okay? So you just got to go to
download.
Yeah, pdgfree.com. And it's a beautiful manual. You're going to find out. And start reading it. I know you won't put it down. You'll be able to actually find out, oh, well, he has that illness, but he also has that emotion. Because everything from the invisible creates the physical. Go ahead, Lorraine.
I was gonna add to that you know, if you download it before Christmas and you start going through it, you are going to be blessing your family with your actions. And I mean, if you decide to take action, that's for sure. But you know,
as well as I do, Lorraine, it's very difficult to take action because as soon as you do, the rest of the family is going to gang up on you. That's what the herd does, because majority rules this planet. And if you didn't notice, the majority are the low-hanging fruit that are being harvested, but they run the planet. And as soon as you start to bring your vibration up, your family loves you, but they undermine you. Yes or no? Lorraine, did that not happen to you and everybody else you know?
You bet. You've really got to start holding the line for yourself and still being that shining light and still loving yourself enough to protect and, you know, give your body what it needs. And just, you know, hold that line. Hold that line. This is who I am. This is why I'm the way I am. I don't want to poison my body anymore. I don't want to have any of those surgeries anymore. I want to be my own practitioner. I'm going to take care of all of my little aches and pains because now I've got this beautiful manual that basically outlines what's happening in the body. So now I understand and I know that my body can heal so long as I give it what it needs. And I honor it, and I protect it, and I forgive it.
Yeah, but Lorraine, how hard was that for you to do that when you first realized you wanted to? How hard was it? Please tell everyone.
It was very difficult. Matter of fact, after the first class, I was up there. I was pumped. I was already working in alternative health, so I already had clients that I was working with, and I struggled personally because that stuff that I was addicted to was still being brought into my home, and it wasn't far from my reach, and really our willpower can only go so far, and then you know it's like it's comfort food. I don't know who came up with that quote, but that's what we call it.
Corporations came up with comfort food. And
exactly.
Also, remember something. When you missed your mommy,
you got a treat. And that was comfort food, which really isn't food and really doesn't support the body. Matter of fact, it brings the vibration down and it feeds the bad bacteria, the fungus, and the parasites. Like, who thought of this stuff? I mean, it's too bad we have been fooled and schooled, and we've just got to come back to what's real and what is really providing the body what it needs. Is at the end of the day, the more high vibrational things I can put in there, the more high vibrational my body is going to be.
And just know this, everyone, somebody's asking, we've got 4 more spots for Wolf Non-Surgical and for Whole Life Coach in Ixtapa, Mexico. January 8th starts Whole Life Coach, and then for 9 days, and then a day off, and then the Wolf Non-Surgical starts. And Lorraine will be down here, so, you know,
yes, we will.
You can terrorize her, too.
Exactly. I'm ready for it. I'm ready. Put up your dukes.
And I'm going to say it again, pdgfree.com. PDG Free. That stands for Perfect Day Guide. People are still asking. Just put your email in. You'll have it 1 minute to midnight, Christmas Eve. They're all going out right now. Right now, we'll be sending out 85,000 of them. Okay? Emails. And then if you like it, somebody's asking, I'm telling you, we have a $6 margin. We'll ship it right to your house, the real manual. It'll cost you $75 though. And that's to run this off, okay? We're talking about 535-page manual, and it looks nicer than this one. Okay, but that's the size of it, everybody. Okay? All right? Okay. What else, Lorraine?
And it's the best gift that you can give yourself and leave around for your family. The best way to get your family to make those changes is being the light first, and letting them see the transformation in you first, because they're just not going to do things like Daryl says. They're so into the way that their mom did things, or how their ancestors, did things, that where it's a hard road to hoe.
And understand, you're going to struggle. If you decide not to change, if you decide not to change your thoughts, if you decide not to change your personality, if you decide you don't want to change, then guess what? You're going to struggle. And if you decide you want to change, you're going to have to struggle. Okay? Just like that caterpillar that broke out of that cocoon to get its wings. And understand something. I believe in universal intelligence, and if you don't want to struggle and bring your vibration up, then you're not going to move on in this universal game. You're just going to get recycled, and reused and recycled. And nobody's going to recycle me. I'll tell you that. There is no authority over Daryl Wolf. Okay? All right? There's no authority on this planet. There isn't. And if you don't believe me, Lorraine will tell you and testify that I have been attacked on every level. And they've tried to come at me to try to make me look like some kind of criminal. And it never worked. All they did was use taxpayers' money. So the reality is this. If you want to find yourself, don't think that it's all going to be just puppy tails and lollipops. Lorraine, how hard was it for the last 4 years to actually get to where you are? Because I need people to understand, we're not selling you a fairy tale. We're trying to sell you on to go back and find your authentic self that was stripped away.
It was very difficult. It was very difficult, but I knew I could do it. I knew I could find this beautiful person inside, because I wasn't loving my body. I wasn't loving this beautiful gift I was given when I was born. And when you can come back and really honor and respect and protect and forgive and trust and then love this vehicle that we're walking around in. You wouldn't be trying to go 1,500 miles in your car if you didn't check the oil first and put some gas in there. And that's what we're not doing. We're not taking care of these beautiful bodies. And we're expecting them to work just as efficiently as they did when we were born. That doesn't happen. Everything is kind of an accumulation. And if you're not getting rid of bits and pieces as we're moving forward, you're going to be getting sicker. And I was in a spot where I was emotionally, it was very difficult to get out of that hole. And I was fortunate enough that I was in Ixtapa, and where everybody around me was on the same page and, encouraging and helping me to see the light that I had, because I didn't see it for myself. And then when I went back home, I had to hold on really tight to what I had done. And the first time I went home, I didn't even stay that long, because I knew I would have gotten sucked back in, because emotionally I wasn't ready. And so I was lucky enough and had the opportunity to come back to the beautiful community that we had in Ixtapa.
and we're still in Ixtapa.
Well, there you go. And I would have to say that this time when I came back home, it felt good to be here, but it's still I have to hold on tight to my beliefs and the way I want to see myself and the way I want to feed myself.
If I can say something, Lorraine, People will
Yeah.
always love you with everything they can. Your friends, your family, they love you as much as they know how to love with their strategies. And you know what? When you become a Braveheart, you never judge them. You love them where they're at. You leave them there unless they ask for a lift. Hey, buddy, can you give me a lift? You know, that's when you do it. You mind your own business. Did we learn that, Lorraine? Did we learn that?
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. You cannot force feed anybody with, the way you see life, the way you view things, the way you're eating, the way you're exercising. You cannot force feed that to anybody. They've got to want it for their own reasons. And sometimes it's because you're shining the light. You're showing them that it's possible. Because I look at the way I was, 4.5 years ago. I'm not the same person. Not even close. And I just feel so blessed that I had the opportunity and was able to do this work on myself to get the changes that I knew were available to me. And I'm not going to let that go. There's no way, no how. No way, no how. No way, no how. I look at things differently. I look at things and I ask myself, is that going to raise my vibration or is that bringing it down? And if it's bringing it down, I better question why I'm doing that and figure out, okay, that was an emotional something that I was going through, and hopefully I don't stay there very long. And nowadays I don't. I recognize that, okay, that was the old programming and I don't like it, so we're on to the new, and I don't stay there. But
can I say something?
You bet.
Sarah says, I'm 53 in premenopause. I feel like there's no hope for me. I don't even know where to start. I'm going to say something, and then Lorraine, she's my truth meter. Lorraine, if she took a perfect day consult from you, you'll offer her a money-back guarantee, and within 6 weeks to no more than 3 months, you will not have any symptoms except the feeling of health. That's it. And let me tell you something. Most cases, it's a month. But I'm going to say this because guess what? I don't know who you live with, sweetheart. And I don't know how much you're able to say no to the bad and yes to the good and actually own you. You know what? Guess what? You could be married to a terrorist husband that has always told you what to do and you liked it. And now you don't like it anymore. Let's see how that works. Okay? Or you make everybody think that, guess what? You'll do everything and anything for everyone. Let's see how that works. Lorraine, am I right?
Totally. That was me. Totally. I was, the caregiver of everybody except myself. And I, I married my father. And as much as I loved my father, who ruled, schooled, and fooled me, I made the wrong choice. And I was happy to sit there and do what I needed to do to hold the family together, to, look like we were doing okay. But inside, I was not. And I was not for a very long time. And it wasn't that he was physically abusive. It just, he worked out of anger. And so every time when he came home, he was all fired up and angry, and it just took my fire. It took my little light and blunted it and made it so I had to really work to get that happiness back in.
And just know that
it was very
Go ahead,
difficult for me to move out of that relationship. It was that death do us part thing. But and I still have love for him, because there's a lot of goodness about him, and but I cannot be with him, and I will never be with him, because I know what it's doing to me.
Right. Now I'm going to say something here, and it's not off track, anybody, and I'm not trying to pick on men. Don't think I'm trying to pick on you. Women, I'm not trying to pick on anybody, so just relax. But understand something. First of all, let's do this. Tell me that human beings aren't programmed to be a certain way. Little girls, little boys, teenage men, teenage girls. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong before I say this. And you don't know what you're talking about. You live so sheltered. And it's not sheltered, because the only shelter you're ever going to have is unconditional love for yourself. Am I right, Lorraine? That is the only shelter.
True.
Some of you will say, my shelter is my religion. Well, guess what? Somewhere in there, you better have unconditional love and care for yourself. Now, here's the deal. Women are taught to put up with their whole life. My God, what women will endure and the suffering. I never have any trouble with a man who wants to take my course, whole life coach course or the Wolf Non-Surgical. They just come and get it. When a woman wants to come and the man is not into natural health, or he's scared that she's going to find her purpose, her passion, or she's going to vibrate higher than him, oh my God, men are terrorists. They try to hold the purse strings. They try to give all the excuses. You know what? The reality is this. If you're in a relationship with somebody who's unwilling to grow, well, then they'll stop your growth, and they don't even know it. They love you the best they can, but they will stunt your growth. And because the subconscious rules everybody's life. My subconscious rules my life. But guess what? I did the work. Lorraine did the work. She made sure that her prominent, dominant beliefs, even when she's not thinking and she's in her subconscious, the only thing that's in there is unconditional love and care for herself. Where even if she's half asleep, she won't do the alcohol. She won't let someone abuse her or abuse other people, because she's ran the program so long about unconditional love and care that she's not going to terrorize herself or anyone else, and she won't let anybody terrorize her, and she will love them anyway, but she will walk away. Lorraine?
That's the truth. That's the truth. It all comes back to that self-love. It is so important that we are number one, because we cannot give what we do not have. And you're fooling yourself if you that's what you're thinking. No, you can't. If you do not have that self-love, you cannot give love to anybody.
Yep, go ahead, love.
Yeah, because it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work. If my little light isn't in full lightness, I can't give my light to anybody.
Does anybody realize why men are at the top of the heap in the medical system? Because women have too much heart. They have too much care. That's why they get pushed into being nurses. Or, guess what? You can join the man's world in the medical system, but you better have a set of brass balls. And you better be hardcore. Because guess what? The heart is out of medicine. It's not there. It might be with the very odd nurse, because she loses her heart after a while. But it's the very odd. You can say you love your doctor. You can love him. But his strategies are for emergency care. They're not for health care. They're not for giving you back your power. I'm not downing them. If you've got a sports injury or car accident, I couldn't be there without them. I've got family members that wouldn't even be alive. But let's all find our place. Let's find our place. And our place is unconditionally loving ourselves and making logical decisions. You know, like the beautiful lady came on here and goes, I'm being forced into doing chemo. Well, no woman that knows herself is going to be forced into anything. Oh, wow. You know what? He raped me. He forced me. Really? Listen to me. Nobody should be saying, I got forced into something. For God's sakes, you should never say that. And I'm going to tell you, there's a time in your life, Lorraine, that you could have been forced into anything, right? Just like me. We've all been there. We've all been there. I will do anything for love. Okay, if I don't have any for myself, I'll do anything. And then if I don't know how to look after, love, honor, and respect myself, then I will do even dangerous things to my body to try to save my life. Let me just say this. Get my perfect day guide, read through that, and then tell me that I'm full of it. That's all. Before you make judgment on me, if this is your first time on here, you go get my perfect day guide, which I gave you for free. So there's no money back. And then you tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. You read it from cover to cover, and you tell me your life is not going to be changed forever, right, Lorraine?
That's true. There's so much love in that book. There's so much love and so much clarification and understanding in a way that, like you said, that 6-year-old could read it and understand what's happening. You know, and when you can come back to that self-love, your face changes. Even if you didn't lose weight. I happened to lose weight with it, but my face changed too. You know, the wrinkles started falling away. There was a brightness, a glow that is on the body when you're treating it right and you're loving it. It is saying, yes, bring it on, do it, yes, I want more. And the more you get it, the more you want. And I am just ecstatic about this work that we're doing and the opportunity to spread the word and to plant those seeds. And hopefully they grow, but if they don't, that's not my business. All I have to do is just keep planting the seeds. And that's what I'm here to do, is plant the seeds of the possibilities that you have. Everybody is just the most thing that you have is potential. Your body has this ultimate potential and it wants to express that. All you got to do is give it what it needs. Keep doing it. And every chance that you get, you verbalize those good words on yourself. Because everything carries vibration. A thought carries vibration, but your words are really powerful. That's why it's called spelling, right? So be careful of the words that you're saying, especially when you're talking about yourself. Because your body's listening. I need some water.
So let me wrap it up, everyone. I'm just going to tell you that Lorraine and I will be doing a weekly show together. She didn't know it until now. Okay? Are you okay with that, Lorraine?
You bet.
Okay.
You bet.
So we'll be doing a weekly show together. It'll be something like this, but it's all up to you guys. If you and guess what? If you start typing in questions, we'll answer them. I'll keep watching. I can watch this and I'll do it, I promise. And but we won't be having another show until the new year, correct, Lorraine?
That's right.
So it will be the first Monday in the new year. We'll be doing a show whenever that is. Okay, that won't be New Year's.
You know what? January the 1st is a Monday.
I know that.
Sure.
Yeah. So okay, all right. So what we'll do is let's do it on the Tuesday, Lorraine.
Okay.
Just for the first show, we'll do it on the Tuesday, the 2nd, and then we'll after that we'll do it every Monday, and then you and Simran can pick a new day for your every other one, right? And just know this. Here it is. Yes, there's 4 more spots left in the Wolf Non-Surgical and course, and in the Whole Life Coach course for Extapa Mexico at the Cala del Mar. Go to braveheartnation.com. Lorraine will be doing a pelvic course in Barrie, Ontario in March. And then in June, she'll be doing one in Sacramento, California. And I'm not even sure where we are after that. I think we're in Australia. Might be Australia. But you can go to braveheartnation.com, everybody, and look. We're doing a world tour. It doesn't finish until next fall. And what else do I want to say? Yes, the Perfect Day Guide, if you want it in your inbox, 1 minute to New Year's Eve, 12 midnight, then just go to PDG, that's Perfect Day Guide, PDGfree.com, and you'll have it. This is the first time we've ever done it. We've got 85,000 emails. They're going out, and anybody's email that comes in, it'll be in your inbox. If something happens and you don't find it in your inbox, then you call me. Well, just look up my phone number, 469-861-8884, and text it on WhatsApp or anywhere around the world, and I'll make sure that you get it on Christmas Day. Just send it to me, and I will do that. You got to understand something. Whether you believe this or not, we don't need to know you to love you. And you may not even love you. You may say people don't even love you, or you got nothing to love, but just know that we love you. It doesn't matter what your personality's like, because if your personality is giving you a hard time, it was never yours, okay? It was force-fed into you, and you were poisoned on an emotional level ever before the physical level. And we love you, and we forgive you for everything you've ever done or everything you're ever going to do, because if we don't come together as a Braveheart Nation, we will destroy each other. Lorraine, why don't you finish it off? And finish it any way you want, and then if you don't mind, do you mind doing the Braveheart Oath?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I just reiterate that we have to come back to loving the body. A lot of people that I talk to when I'm doing the consults, they will say that, you know what, they love who they are. And some of them can even say they love what they do. Some people are working for money only, and they don't love the work. But nobody is loving the body. If you've got symptoms going on, if you've got conditions going on, you have not come back to loving the body. So that's where we need to start. We need to start by loving the body. So the Braveheart Oath, saying it in front of the mirror twice a day. Each time that you sit down to say it in front of the mirror, you're going to repeat it 10 times. And the more times that you repeat it, the more passion and emotion you're going to bring into those words. Our words are powerful. So the Braveheart Oath goes, I am loved, I'm healed, I'm Braveheart. From the moment I rise until I gently close my eyes, I promise to honor, respect, protect, forgive, trust, and totally love you, and you are looking so deeply into your own eyes above anything or anyone else. So help me God, because I am healed, I'm Braveheart.
Thank you, Lorraine.
And 3, 2, 1, we've got this. We've got this. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Bless you.